Hey, I'm back. So tonight's Halloween. As you can see, I'm wearing a nice Joker outfit. Well, I think it looks nice at least. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think it's worthy? Best we can do. So why am I making this video? Because something went down tonight. As you can probably tell by the title. Alright, so there was a fight. So basically what happened was we went trick-or-treating like around the neighborhood of my school. And you know, I don't really like my school that much. So I'm just gonna reveal the identity. I'm just gonna reveal what it is. It's Washington Middle School in downtown Albuquerque. Exposed. So we decided to go down there for trick-or-treating, and there's this like nice little haunted house by a comic book store. So, you know, everything was going good first. They're being super nice. You know, come in. We wrote down our names, and then we went through the haunted house, which, you know, was good. Personally, jump scares are kind of a little, well, cheap to me, but it's a haunted house. What do you expect? Psychological horror? I don't think so. And don't worry, don't mind the background noise. It's just my family reciting the story. So then after the whole haunted house, we go and we go back into this little place that we started in. It's like I really need to write scripts for these. I don't know, we're back in the back, and they're saying, and there was like a place where you could get some like soup and nachos. It was like some chili soup, which I'm not too fond of chili. So we go in, we get just to get warm, because my older sister Martha at this point is freezing. So we're just kind of standing there, and like this table, which we had to stand up because like this place was pretty small. And then in front of us, when we were in line to get our food, there was like these fat people, like gigantic. And, you know, they were taking their time. And after all, I just had to explain that because that's going to be important later. So one of the fatter people was this like fat kid, this like fat 7-year-old. And, you know, basically everyone's like, these people are basically bumping into everyone. And this girl had a cup, and she spilled water on my older sister. It was an accident. You had to get that point across. So, you know, she says sorry. My older sister accepts the apology, and then goes to my mom and says that she kind of got wet. And, you know, my mom just kind of, mom's a little tiny bit mad, because, well, it's cold outside. For those of you who don't live in Albuquerque, New Mexico, or heck, I don't know if it's like this everywhere in Albuquerque, but it gets freezing out here. Unlike Arizona. Arizona gets sweater weather, we get coat weather. And so my mom is just a little mad, you know, just talking with my sister like, oh man, it's wet outside. It's cold outside. and she's already freezing. And then one of those fat women comes up to my mom, and let me get the story. She was saying like, "Oh, but it's just water. It's gonna evaporate. It's cold outside. It's gonna freeze." But she's just still going on about her rant about, "Oh, she's gonna be fine, it's just water." But if you basically if you get wet and you go outside and it's cold, that's gonna have some repercussions. It's like some time in bed. And so basically, this woman is wanting to basically start a fight because she's kind of framing the story like, "Oh, she's saying things about my little girl." Which, no, my mom wasn't saying anything. It was just a quick little, "It's cold outside." And so at this point, I'm just kind of telling my mom to, "Hey, let's leave. I don't want to escalate this situation." So we leave, and this fat beluga whale and the rest of the fat fricks are basically following us. And that woman who was pestering my mom earlier was basically saying probably the most stupid thing I've heard in my 12-year-old life so far. "Are you dying? Are you dying?" Stupidity. Which I think she was still kind of mad because when my mom kind of has to have the last word when leaving an argument, kind of. And so we basically get to the front, and my little sister's like, "Oh, let's go there, let's go there, let's go there." Still wanted to trick or treat. What time is it? I can't know the time. Okay, it's 9:46. So now, and then, earlier, what I said about the woman's basically, "Are you dying now? Are you dying?" And she goes up to my mom, and she's basically pushing her. Which my mom later said that people out here in New Mexico don't know how to fight. So while this woman was pushing, and her gang of beluga whales basically starts gaining up, and there's this one fat frick that's like, "Oh, let me get her." My sister. I'm the same age as her. No, you're not. This woman was look, when you're fat, you look older. I'm sorry I have to tell you that, but you just look, as soon as you gain more pounds, you just look fat. You just look like you're in your 80s. Just saying. So I don't know if this woman was actually 15, but she's basically threatening to fight a 15-year-old. And so if the fight actually did happen, well, like the fight more escalated, then they probably would have attacked me, which there was a guy in the group, which was kind of skinnier. Quick question, if a man attacks a 12-year-old, do they get more jail time? I don't know. Did they get jail time? I don't know. Okay. So basically, this woman's shoving my mom, waiting for a fight so that way they can jump her. Meanwhile, the people who are at the front were basically trying to stop them. And my mom said that they were like super ghetto, and there was a woman, one of the women, was saying, "Oh, don't worry, baby, I got your back." And then the 7-year-old's like, "Oh, I love you, mommy." Okay, not that, but you get the point. And so we eventually get out of there. Honestly, I just kind of walked out of there and sat on the bench. And then I thought about that meme, like, with the dog that's just sitting there while his kitchen's on fire. Just, this is fun. And as soon as we leave, these people are super loud and say, "Oh, that woman, she was so scared of us." No, we weren't scared. We just had common sense. Look, don't go picking a fight on Halloween. If the person has a gun on them, or maybe like a pocket knife, it's probably gonna, well, you don't know. No, I don't know what this video was about. Look, I guess the moral of the story is don't pick fights on Halloween, because someone could have a gun. And don't pick fights in general, please. Let's try to be civil humans. This Joker signing out. Bye-bye.